Hi, I'm Lisa Franklin and I'm an artist that works with living materials. It can be plants, it can be fungi. Most of what I work with grows, it lives its own life, and I find that really interesting because it's almost co-creation in a way. I feel like I'm in part artist and in part facilitator because we're working together. I can't force a plant. I have some control over what it does or over mushrooms or fungi, but at the end of the day, we have to work together because I have not complete control over that. I did a project earlier this year where I was growing plants and then collecting sounds from them and then programming different sounds back into them that I could then trigger through touch. So when I touched the plants, they'd speak those sounds and got them speaking poetry. But now I'm dealing in a lot more fungi, this whole other kingdom that we live with and a lot of the time are a part of. We have fungi living within us, but we also can pick them up in a supermarket or find them in a forest and eat them. So people tend to think of mushrooms, I think, in that way, but actually fungi is this huge kingdom that we still don't know that much about, but is fascinating. So when I stumbled into it, that was it, I was hooked. So I met Carolyn, who is lead artist on this project, by chance, and we have a real shared love of fungi, a real shared love for, I suppose, immersive or interactive performance or experiences and site-specific work. So I was really drawn to what Sirens Crossing were doing, and I think they'd seen the stuff I was doing and they were very drawn to that, and it just felt like a really natural fit. We never really talked about working together, we just did. It just started, and yeah, it's been a real pleasure. So we ran 3 workshops as part of this project, one of which was making ink from mushrooms, shaggy ink caps to be precise. I collected loads of shaggy ink caps, showed people the process of how you turn those into ink, and then we had an hour to kind of explore that with stimuli. So I had lots of forage mushrooms there for people to see and to respond to, and then also poetry prompts ready, and people were using the mushroom ink to illustrate or write. And the other workshops that I've been running are growing mushrooms in books. I've got a love of literature as well, and I did a project called The Language of Growing, where I looked at where language meets natural world and how we can kind of be together, and through that ended up growing mushrooms in books and seeing how the words on the page affected what the mushrooms looked like when they grew or how fast they grew, and also then wrote my own words and grew mushrooms on those. And a lot of the time it's edible mushrooms, so then I can eat, quite literally eat my words. So offered up the opportunity for other people to explore that too. Sometimes when I've grown a mushroom on a book and you detach the mushroom because it's ready, it's to come away, it takes words with it. So where it's attached to the book, it takes a little bit of page. And I always like to think of that as a kind of found poetry. It's chosen, the words that it takes with it, and I always read to see what it's taken. We're using books that might otherwise be thrown away. That feels really good. You're turning something that would otherwise end up in a bin into something you can eat. We did a panel discussion with Merlin Sheldrake, who is the author of Entangled Life, which I believe was a real inspiration for Carolyn on this project, and is a beautiful book. I highly recommend everybody reads it. And Merlin Sheldrake has an incredible brain. Everything he says is brilliant. There's no in between. It's just all fascinating. And it was great spending time in his company. I felt like I learned so much across the course of an afternoon. It was really interesting because we got into a bit of a conversation about where science meets art. I can tell you very little about what I'm doing as part of this event or about the event as a whole, but I guess I hope that people bring with them a sense of wonder and a sense of that kind of childlike joy of finding new things. I often think when you find a mushroom in the wild, it feels a little bit like a treasure hunt because you can never guarantee it's going to be there. It's a real mixture of chance and luck and all these things coming into play. I hope people will find that same kind of feeling from this experience and will take away with them either an enhanced or a newfound love for fungi, and maybe go away and explore growing some of their own or eating them in new ways or just noticing them.